One man and one man only from the University of Zagreb, fighting Illini. It was Drazen Petrovic who had the proverbial dream night. That's the dream sequence from way outside. He shakes Vern Maxwell, baseline pull-up. Vern said he shot the lights out. Thank you, Vern. Petrovic led the Rockets by 9 at the half. In the second half, Mo Cheeks, great pass to Drazen over Robert Horry. There was just him out there. Now from way outside, bang. From way downtown, bang again. The Rockets then tried the invisible man on Drazen Petrovic, who got 32 of his North American career high, 44 in the second half. He shoots 17 of 23 and 44 points, 3 for 3 from downtown. Stockton Sr. and the Jazz, winners of 13 straight at the Deltoid Center against Portland. Daddy blows past Strickland. Jazz up by 7 at the half. But a bad sign for Utah. The mailman in foul trouble in the third quarter, and it's the Blazers who start delivering. Drexler's there for the save, looking 100% again to Strickland, to Mario Elie. He glides in. Clyde does off the miss for the hoop. Blazers +2 after 3. In the fourth, Utah rally. Stockton to Malone, 1 of 10 assists for John. Next possession, Stockton to Malone, another of 10 assists for John. 2 of 42 points for Carl. But with Utah up by 4, it is Strickland. Bad move by the Knicks, bad move by the Spurs, good move by Strickland. He had 17, a dozen in the fourth. 2 more to put them in front for good. Blazers surprised the Jazz at Salt Lake. The winning streak is over there. 4 Blazers had 20 or more points. About Malone, Magic Johnson met with him for the first time since Malone's remarks last November that Johnson should retire, that implied that Johnson.
A team that's lost only once in the new year, and John Lucas, one of the main reasons. Got them playing great ball, but there's no defense for this. The alley-oops, but somehow it still goes. Scott Pippen made only 1 of his first 11 shots, but the first one was rather extraordinary. Michael Jordan wasn't missing much. Knifing the lane and slamming, but the Spurs had command. They had a 15-point lead in the first half. Bulls break in the second half, and a big third quarter, and Pippen rocking and rolling again, and the Spurs lead is suddenly down to 1. B.J. Armstrong simply hammered by Avery Johnson, but the free throws gave the Bulls the lead. San Antonio about to see it slip away when they go to Dale Ellis for the big one. A three-pointer, they're back up 98-96. Time running down, John Lucas stressing the D. Phil Jackson going to his go-to guy with time running down. The Admiral in his face, Jordan falls away, but it won't go. The Spurs get the rebound and hold on and knock off the Bulls, and things just keep on rolling for Lucas and company. 103-99 over the defending champions. Things around against Washington. Sam Perkins missing some lettering. He's normally number 14. Not the only confusion. Vlade Divac in the inbounds gives it right to Tom Gugliotta, and LaBradford Smith jackknifes the lane. Well, it's up by 6. A 2-point game with 6 seconds left. That looks like an AC Green play. And this is what that magic marker was set to point out. He cuts down the lane and gives the game to overtime with the tie. There's Sadeo Threet with his bald nap, puts them up by 2. Wes Unseld not having a good feeling about this. Rex Chapman had an awful day shooting, but decides to take the one that would try to tie it, and he wouldn't go. And even Robin Ficker has to concede that the Lakers made a great effort and come from behind and win this one in OT, 112-110. The Bullets' 5th straight loss. But it was a heady experience for the Hornets, who headed home to host far less intimidating Indiana. Hornets with the early lead. Larry Johnson flies in and jams it home, and it looked like they'd be in command. Kendall Gill snapping it away. Off the breakaway, he will slam it home. And they were motoring, building a huge lead in this game. Johnny Newman spotting Alonzo Mourning with the alley-oop. He had 30. A huge night for him, but the hugeness was in the comeback, led by Rick Smits over Mourning. They outscore the Hornets by 17 in the fourth quarter. They're down by 14 points in the final frame and come all the way back to win it 112-105. Another big night for Detlef Schrempf, who had 20. This is not a place they like to play, but Sean Kemp likes that rim. He got a technical for hanging there. He had 10 in the first half. And the Clippers went to Gary Grant, who didn't have quite the same effect on the rim. Larry Brown a little disgusted, but his team found their rhythm when they found Greg Norman, who rolled it home. He had 13.5, Clips by 7 at the break. Sonics couldn't hit anything, and Ron Harper was missing nothing. From the corner, he was their big man on the night. Here the dish. Harper had 24. Danny Manning had 23, and the Sonics have lost 8 of the last 9 in the LA Arena, and they fall into a second-place tie with the Blazers.
That's where Charles Barkley was having a few laughs with Olden Polynice off the injured list. First quarter, Charles with time running down on the shot clock, the fake, and the basket. Charles with 24. Detroit got their offense primarily from this guy, Joe Dumars, 36 for him. Pistons up 3. First half, time running down. Phoenix lets the 3 fly. Phoenix getting it to Danny Ainge, who hits at the buzzer. Phoenix by 6 at the half. In the third, it's Thunder Dan Marley's turn. One of 3 straight threes for Marley. That put Phoenix up by 12. The Suns were rolling. Danny Ainge, the lob inside to Richard Dumas, 2 of his 22. Paul Westphal feeling ill because the Pistons were on their way back. Joe Dumars hitting the 3. Pistons were within 2 seconds to go with a chance to win. The ball goes to Terry Mills for the 3-point shot. In and out. Mills, an 18% three-point shooter. He almost had that, but Dan Marley and the Suns escape with a 2-point win in Detroit. Marley's 5-3. So up early, Chuck Person. Oh, but Dikembe, the rifleman, had 20 in the first half. Nuggets returned fire with guard play. Stealing. Robert Pack taken. Michael Williams pass for the reverse slam. Then it's time for some dishing. Reggie Williams to Pack to LaFonso Ellis for the slam. We're tied at 50 at the half. Shooting, did I say shooting? Chris Jackson hitting Jays once, and once again with this rainbow. Now some slamming. Robert Pack in the act of killing Thurl Bailey. Nuggets up by 9. Then it's action. Chris Jackson changing that shot, popping that Jay. Nuggets winning their 3rd straight for the first time this season. Passing, Blair Rasmussen stripped by Randy Brown. Brown then throws it away. Adam Keefe gets a hold of it. Brown steals it back right here. Brown throws it away. You following this? Steve Henson now with a long pass to Keefe, who goes in and gets fouled by Brown. Gary St. Jean is just happy the Hawks didn't score on that play, but the guy who did score for the Hawks a lot, Dominique, had about 38 points. Atlanta wins this one easily, 117-106. Wilkins has now scored at least, thanks to Latrell Sprewell, who hit all 5 of his attempts from the field. There's a 3, and then Drexler responding with one of 18 three-pointers in the game. Chris Mullin adding to it. Not to be outdone, Terry Porter, who scored 25. Look at Mullin, the dribbling by crazy, leaving Drexler in the dust. Then it's Hardaway time. Gets the reverse layup and the foul. What a play. Then, check this out, the bird-like pass by Mullin to Grayer. Goaltending. Blazers, however, know to rely on teamwork. Porter between the legs to Drexler for the jam. Worth another look. Now that deserves an SB. Don Nelson can't stand to see it again. Blazers win this one by 10. They stay focused. They win their 6th straight. First half, Malone on the offensive glass gets the rebound, the basket. Malone with one of his 13 boards. Defense collapsing on Malone here. The Cavs double teaming him. He makes the nice dish to Eaton. Jazz by 11. Watch Danny Ferry here. When Malone gets the ball, Ferry takes one step, which allows Eaton to beat him to the hoop for the dunk. Lenny Wilkins can only smile. Jazz by 14 at the half. Second half, more Jazz. Stockton to the mailman. Malone with 28 points. Malone spectacular, even when it doesn't count. Watch him out of nowhere. The follow and the slam. The Jazz win anyway, 113-96, your final score on the Mavs. First quarter, Stacey King, the miss inside, but Scottie Pippen is there. Bulls up by 18 after 1. Second quarter, Will Perdue to Michael Jordan, back to Perdue. Bulls up 27 at the half. In the third, shot clock running down. Jordan pulls up for the 3. He misses it, but the hustle gets his own rebound and scores. MJ with just 15 points in this game. They didn't need him. Bulls up by 38. Next series, Horace Grant with a steal. And then to Stacey King. King with 2 of his 19. Bulls win this one easily, and Jordan was just laughing over how easy this game really was. Chicago's largest margin of victory this season, 8 Bulls in double.
Victory as the Nets and Lakers went at it, and the Nets a good passing effort. Petrovic the drive and dishes to Raphael Addison, who had 14, and then Kenny Anderson the no-look to Addison, who lays it in. 6 assists for Anderson. Nets by 5 at halftime. The Lakers try and come back, but Derek Coleman with a steal, and Chucky Brown sticks it, and then Coleman, who had 5 assists, to a wide-open Kenny Anderson, who scored 28, and Chuck Daly, the 15th NBA coach to get to 500 victories. He's in a hurry for many more as the Nets take out the Lakers. Anderson, who's probably one of the players benefiting the most, his wife hit the jackpot at a slot machine in Atlantic City and won more than $450,000. Meanwhile, Bull got burned by Anthony Mason and took out his frustration by swinging away here. Not getting much, but he might get fined. Have to pay out a little of that cash. Third quarter, Philly down by 5. Hornacek the 3, and he's fouled, so it's a 4-point play. The Sixers are up 1, but the Knicks too much down low and hitting the boards. Ewing and Mason go after it. Finally, Patrick the rebound and the hoop. And the news, not good for the Sixers as the Knicks defeat them by 8. So the Knicks win their 4th straight. They're 17-3 at home. And how about Shaquille O'Neal playing a little point guard? He got the rebound, he brings it the other way and leaves it for Jeff Turner. Orlando leading at halftime. Second half, they go to the man. not Shaq, but Tom Tolbert. Shaq dishing it baseline, and there's Tolbert, part of a 7-0 run in the third quarter, all Tom Tolbert. Then Shaq takes his turn on the alley-oop from Scotty Skiles. He had 26 points. And look at this, the Shaq shuffle, a way to celebrate his scoring act. But Tolbert was terrific Tom on this night, or Tom terrific. 24 points, 16 rebounds, season highs for him. And the Magic win. Talk about balance. All this one at the Bradley Center. The Bucks trying to worry about Kareem, or I should say Akeem inside. Not having to worry about this guy who couldn't get it in the hole. Akeem off the backboard, had trouble shooting, not once but twice. Todd Day also a brick. Mike Dunleavy before the game showing him how it's done. He's not too far removed from his playing days. Eric Murdoch learning a lesson here, taking the big guy out of it, switching hands to lay it in, and that had Rudy T losing his gum as the Bucks end that skid. Houston suffering 20 turnovers. Milwaukee, excellent interior defense. Running out first quarter, Bimbo Coles to Steve Smith, who beats the buzzer off the bank. And then in the second quarter, Steve Smith hits the runner, and the Heat up by 9 at halftime. Bullets leading by 2 late. Here comes Smith. He had 22. Go to overtime. Tied at 96. Bullets by 3. Glenn Rice to Keith Askins. The three-pointer. Yeah, Keith Askins ties it in the OT. But here comes Michael Adams. That unorthodox shooting style. He had 25. Bullets a 2-point lead. But you're in the game. If Steve Smith is in the game, the 3 for the win. And it does not go. The iron was just downright rude. The Bullets hang on to win it. 104-102. Purvis Ellison added 21. By the way, John Sally has also given them confidence, and he was doing that in this game. The Sonics, a poor shooting night. Ricky Pierce misses. Robinson the rebound and leaves it long for Dale Ellis, the former Sonic, off the cushion. Spurs shot 57% in the first half. J.R. Reed freezes Kemp. Looks like he walks here and got away with it. Spurs up 63-50 at halftime, and it got worse. Lloyd Daniels lofting it for David Robinson, who did not have a good shooting first half, but that's a good percentage shot. The Sonics build a 25-point lead, and J.R. Reed off the bench. Bounce pass from Vinny Del Negro, the lay-in, a season high, 24 points, and then Reed leading the break. The no-look to Robinson, who had 17 points, and the Spurs are smiling with Lucas as their leader. Robinson blocked 7 shots, had 15 boards. Avery Johnson's point guard takeover. Earl Talley at Roxbury's figures he'll go to the game. Jay Humphreys, a 3-point shot in Mark Jackson's face, but Jackson comes back the other way, and at the end of the first quarter throws it up, and wow, Jazz still led by 3 at the end of 1. Jackson here in trouble, but a good pass to Stanley Roberts, who slam dunks it, and then Karl Malone strong in the middle where he gets most of his points. The Jazz a 3-point lead at halftime. Third quarter, Clips get defensive. Ron Harper stealing, Stockton's pass. Grant back to Harper. That tied it at 75 after 3. Then they get offensive. Inside, Manning, low post over Malone, and Stockton the jumper. Manning with 25, 21 in the second half. And the Clippers take it. Harper had 22. Roberts with 20. Denver in the first half. The rookie from Alabama, Sprewell, in midair. Gets it to go. And then Chris Gatling, who had 17. Nice move, the left-handed shot. Sarunas, Marciulionis, a big second quarter, had 18 points and helped the Warriors out to a 62-38 lead. At the break, Chris Mullin adding to it. 13 points in 24 minutes. Looks like he jumped off the wrong foot, but got the jumper anyway. And then Tyrone Hill, Sprewell slam dunks it, tomahawk style. Mullin, Hardaway, and Sprewell enjoying some free time. The Warriors a season-high 30.
It looked good for Minnesota. They were hot. Look at Christian Laettner, the fancy dribbling around Sir Charles to Person, and Chuck nails the J. The Rifleman was on target early, burying it from 3-point range. Person with 20 in the first. Wolves by 17. Suns, though, chip away. Marley the miss, but Barkley is there for the follow. Now 1.6 seconds left in the half. More Charles. Watch him nailing the impossible 3 at the buzzer. We're tied at 65 at the half. On to the second half. Sir Charles getting the alley-oop slam from KJ. Paul Westphal likes that stuff. Time running out, though, tied at 1:08. Suns try, but they can't get a shot off in time. We go to OT. Sidney Lowe with a sigh of relief. In OT, Wolves by 1, clock running down. KJ the miss, but Danny Ainge the tip-in for the game winner. Suns win it by 1.
The Indiana Pacers, final seconds, third quarter. Sam Mitchell, the half-court shot. Pacers still down by 7 after 3. Fourth quarter, Pacers leading by 3. Tim Perry hits the 3 to force overtime. And in the final seconds of OT, the Pacers a 2-point lead. Perry going to try to win it with the three, but not this time. Indiana hangs on, 127-125. Detlef Schrempf had some free throws that were the difference in OT, finished with 31 points. Hersey Hawkins, a triple-double for the Sixers. Of course, we wondered what he'd been doing these days. George Bush, part of the sellout crowd, watching the Rockets in the first quarter. And Hakeem Olajuwon, getting 2 of his 18, also had 17 rebounds. Scottie Pippen, the alley-oop to Michael Jordan, who scored 26 in the game. Then in the third quarter, Robert Horry, the rookie from Alabama, who will be in the slam dunk contest, misses, but then follows to put it back in. Phil Jackson said, hey, that should not count, and the officials were right on top of this, and an excellent call. They ruled offensive interference, no basket, but hey, great effort. Fourth quarter, the Rockets add to their lead as Vernon Maxwell, the hoop, and the harm, and the president in a hurry to beat traffic. No more motorcade since he's not in the White House. The Bulls have just 1 win in their last 13 games at the Summit. The Magic and Cavaliers, Orlando leading by 2 and mapping out their strategy in the second half. Get it to Shaquille O'Neal, and they did. Then Shaq going around Brad Daugherty. Shaq scoring 25 in the game. Magic leading in the third quarter. Long-range three-pointer here from Scott Skiles. Late third quarter, 84-82 Orlando. Here comes the Cleveland rally. Mark Price, the tough shot he made. His last 8 shots in the game. Cavs with a 2-point lead. Daugherty over Shaq, the little hook. It was part of a 25-13 run, and then Larry Nance gets the home court bounce. Matt Kukas, his team let it get away. As Cleveland wins it, Shaq only had 5 points in the first half with foul trouble. But before tip-off, Dennis Byrd of the Jets there to see the action with some of his teammates and looking good. Kellen Willis and the Hawks looking good. Willis throws in the jump hook, and then the assist to Mookie Blaylock. Usually that's the other way around. The Hawks leading by as many as 17. But the Knicks rally. Doc Rivers the 3. And then Starks the jumper. They cut the deficit down to 4, but Atlanta hung on with Dominique Wilkins, the double pump and sticky at 31. Blaylock to Willis. He had 24, and Bob Weiss, allegedly on shaky ground, gets a much-needed win as his team pulls it out 110-105 on the road. They've scored 100 points just 4 times in 18 games. The Pacers jumped all over them. From the opening tip, Dale Davis, a rim hanger, and a slam dunk, as Chick Hearn would say. George McLeod hit from 3-point range. Nobody on him. He scored 20, had 2 3-pointers in the first half. Here the Laker defense a little bit mixed up. Schrempf gets the ball to Davis, who's open underneath. Nobody's on him. Another slam dunk. 14 points, 15 rebounds for Dale Davis. The Pacers break looked like the old Laker break. McLeod on the end of that. Seconds remaining first half under pressure. Detlef Schrempf hits the shot. 15 in the first half. Bob Hill didn't need to play the second half. His team had a 74-45 lead at the break. The Lakers made an appearance in the second half, but Indiana clobbers them. The Pacers beating the Lakers. Bucks and the Heat. Blue Edwards feeding Eric Murdoch. The Heat 18 turnovers in the game. Edwards had 16 points. This time Murdoch with a steal. He had 5 in the game. One of his 10 assists. Edwards lays it in. The Bucks leading at halftime. 59-43, so they're blowing them out. Second half, Murdoch continuing. Strong move to the hole, the hoop, the harm. He had 19 points. Even Alan Ogg got into the game against his former team. 4 points in 3 minutes. Almost a alley-oop play in Miami. Very popular player for the Heat. They were cheering him on.